Hello and welcome back. This is Christopher Aaron. This is the iGold Advisor channel. It is January 9th, 2024. Happy New Year. We are going to look at when gold should be breaking out to new all-time highs. This is a hugely critical moment that we are at for gold. It is just $40 away from making a sustained new all-time high. What does the evidence show for when this is finally going to occur? That will be the topic of today's broadcast. I'm glad that you are here, and I hope you had some nice holidays over the last few weeks. Let's take a look at this in the new year. I want to let you know very quickly, I will be speaking live in person at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference coming up in a little less than 2 weeks on Monday, January 22nd. I'm going to be speaking at 2:20 p.m. in the afternoon at the VRIC conference. This is like the second biggest mining and precious metals conference of the year. It's a really good one. By the way, it's free to attend. There are going to be thousands of people there. There are going to be hundreds of different companies there. Really good if you can make it, if you're anywhere in the area, to attend, and make sure to come say hi. I would love to meet you. So I will see you there, and I'll put a link to the conference below where you can get the free tickets. We're going to look at when gold should be breaking out in this video. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. And guys, I really appreciate quick thumbs up. Means a lot to me. Follow us at iGlobalGold on Twitter or X for more frequent updates. And let us get into this update right here. When is it going to break out? Here is our gold price chart for the last 5 years. We got plenty of room to talk about what's going to happen in the future here. Here's our key. If you're new to these videos, every color here has a meaning to it. And so as we look at gold here over the last 4 years, I mean, the first thing that should be really obvious is that gold has been moving sideways for 4 years. Can you believe this? I mean, we were at this level back in the early part of 2020, and here we are now in 2024. Now, I will tell you, based on my study of markets, over the last 20 years of studying all sorts of different markets, both precious metals, stock markets, currencies, other commodities, I will tell you 2 things that I have learned. Number 1, markets do not continue moving sideways forever. This thing is either going to break upward or downward. Markets don't move sideways forever. The second thing I will tell you is that I have never witnessed in my entire career a 1, 2, 3, and now quadruple attempt to break upward, which ultimately fails to do so. I have never witnessed it. I'm not saying it's 100% impossible. I'm not guaranteeing that gold will break out. I will never use those words, guarantee, with anything in the investment markets. But if this is going to be the first time that we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, and look, the 4th attempt was clearly higher than the previous 3 attempts, so this market is chipping away at the upside. If this is going to be the first time that we get 4 attempts to break out and then it doesn't succeed, it'll be something completely brand new in my entire career, and so I'm not going to place the bias of my analysis with such a new scenario. I'm going to place the bias with all of the previous instances where I've seen these long-term consolidation patterns, 1, 2, 3, 4, what ends up happening is you eventually get the breakout to the upside. So if that's our bias, we want to start looking at what the chart shows for timing of this eventual breakout. Let's take a look at some of the near term here. The first thing I want to point to your attention is notice the trend here in this light dashed blue color. Notice the trend starting from point number 3 here. Notice this hit right here. So it starts to form a downward trend from point number 3. And then notice how that was broken right there just 6 weeks ago where my mouse is, just before the holidays. So that was broken right there. gold came up to make point number 4. And then notice that as gold was coming back down, what happened right here? This level served as a retest. So this is how markets often behave. You will get a trend. Once you break the trend, the market will come back and retest the former trend. Notice there was a little brief intra-week spike there below the trend, but closed back above the trend after point number 4. So what we can see here is that this former trend from point number 3 is acting as support, as indeed we would predict it to after you have a breakout successfully to the upside of a trend such as this in the downward manner. So you get support right there. So what we look at is we have support coming in here just above $1,980 per ounce right now. And then we have this still valid trend down here from the lows of 2022 connecting the most recent swing low. What we have here for a logical price zone of expectation is the green shaded area. So this is our target call out for the time being. You can see it right here. And so what we have here is a zone in which gold is expected to move here over the coming months. And really, this market could break out at any point here in this zone. We could have the more aggressive, sooner breakout where we're really talking just a matter of a couple more weeks here where gold needs to basically move sideways, and then we get the breakout. Or on the more conservative side, we could be looking at a market that wants to come back down further still into the green target zone and then round up later in this year and then have the breakout. So one of the two scenarios here, either in red or orange for your attention, are our highest probabilities for how gold should resolve this now 4-year consolidation when it is ready to break to the upside. And I will let you know that no matter which pathway gold takes here, the more aggressive or the more conservative, if you simply look at where the valid trend intersects at the latest possible date with the resistance zone here above 2075. So in other words, when does the pattern suggest on a highest probability that gold will break out? At the very latest, it's the end of 2024. So at the earliest, this could be a few weeks away. At the latest, we're talking this calendar year. Highest probability, visible evidence for everything that is in front of us today. End of 2024. So it's not going to be that much longer. I don't think we're going to be talking, when we're talking 1 year from now, the beginning of 2025, I don't think we're still going to be talking about this consolidation ongoing. So I suggest to you there's a limited amount of time to get ready for this breakout when it occurs. Now, one final point. What is the lowest that we should expect gold to fall to? Whichever of these scenarios, the red or orange, whichever one it's going to take this year in calendar year 2024, what's the lowest price that gold would be expected to fall to as support? And that figure is going to be right in here in blue. 1935. So notice this level here that we had the breakout, attempt number 4, come back, retest. Notice this is a declining trend throughout time. So it's currently just below the 2000 figure that would act as support. But as we get into April or May of this year, because that is a declining trend, that should be acting as support from the opposite side. If gold needs to take the more conservative route, it could fall all the way back to 1935 before it rounds up and breaks out before the end of the year. So just keep that in mind. We cannot make guarantees, but we can form extremely high probability scenarios based on what? The sum of the world's fundamentals. Remember, all of the fundamentals, whether we're talking legitimate buying or selling of bullion, whether we're talking about mining company production, mining company hedging, whether we're talking about manipulation, yes, suppression attempts, yes. Doesn't matter who they are, they show up on the charts here. And all those people, even if they're legitimate buyers, even if they're central banks, even if they're manipulators, what are they also? They're also human beings. Well, we could get a little bit deeper and we could talk about what are some of the nefarious energies that are behind some of these human beings. But that's a topic for another day. And so the net takeaway is that we can track where all of these entities are showing up, and the place that we do it is right here on the chart. End of 2024 is our highest expectation. I will be presenting new information that you are not seeing here today at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference coming up in a little under 2 weeks. So make sure to attend live in person if you are anywhere in the region. It'll be an excellent conference. If you cannot make it to the VRIC, I suggest you check out our premium research service called Precious Metals Intelligence Plus, because our members have learned all of our forecasts way beyond what you have seen here, extending beyond 2024. How high and when do we think gold is going to achieve those higher targets? That is all available for you in Precious Metals Intelligence Plus. We cover physical gold, physical silver, the mining sector. We also now cover Bitcoin, the stock market, currency markets, US dollar, euro, British pound, Australian dollar, and other commodities from time to time. And you get flash updates going right to your inbox the moment that we make a buy or a sell decision here. So if you're a beginning investor, you'd like to learn technical analysis, you'd like to learn what are the trends that are driving the US dollar, the stock market, the precious metals markets, you must check out Precious Metals Intelligence Plus. You can't be without it. If you're a higher net worth investor, you need to understand the power of private placements in your investment portfolio. In Elite Private Placements, which is our service for higher net worth investors, you get opportunities to invest in the same types of companies that we invest here in Precious Metals Intelligence, but you get to do it at more favorable terms. The reason is because most of these private placements have a minimum of about 7,000 US dollars per investment. And if you can commit the minimum, they will give you better terms on the actual shares. So you get to buy the shares typically at a discount to the open market. And then you also get free warrants, which give you opportunities to get nearly twice the upside because you have the additional exposure by the warrants compared to buying those exact same companies in the open market. And remember, if you subscribe to our Elite Private Placement service, you will also receive a free subscription to our flagship Precious Metals Intelligence Plus subscription right here for as long as you remain a member of Elite. If you would like to sit down with myself, Christopher Aaron, and discuss your personal situation, I do consultations via phone, by Skype, or in person. If you're in my area and if you're in Vancouver, I'd be happy to meet you there in a couple of weeks. We sit down, we discuss your situation from a researched, independent perspective, someone who does not take kickbacks from any of the bullion dealerships, any of the mining companies that we feature here. I work solely to look out for the best interests of individual investors such as yourself. So make sure to check out our website, Consultations tab. So the net takeaway here is we have strong evidence that gold should be breaking out before the end of calendar year 2024. Support should be emerging above 1935. This is getting close.